At a time when the entire world is seeing an oversaturation with a number of franchises and cinematic universes, most of which are right now crumbling under the weight of their rudimentary world building, the minimum an audience expects from a standalone superhuman origin story is that it entertains as a standalone film initially, and hopefully, if possible, it also excites us for the future of the world it is about to show us. In that regard alone, Lokah Chapter 1 Chandra is a remarkable achievement. The biggest win of Lokah isn't just that it works as a standalone entertainer, or that it does complete justice to the world building. It does both these things. But the biggest win of this film is that it never relies on the future installments to carve its own legacy, despite setting up multiple characters across this universe. You take the cameos and future prospects out of this film, and the legacy that this film has sealed for itself remains unaffected. This is sure-footed, well-crafted storytelling at its finest. However, at its core, this isn't just a story about extraordinary abilities. It's about the choices, the fears, and the hope of humanity, despite the existence of supernatural elements. To dive into the plot without giving away any spoilers, the film, set primarily in modern-day Bangalore, revolves around Sunny, portrayed impeccably by Naslen, and his close friends Venu, played by Chandu Salim Kumar, and Nigel, played by Arun. Their lives take a sharp turn when they meet their mysterious new neighbor Chandra, played by Kalyani Priyadarshan, in a career-defining performance. What begins as an intriguing mystery soon connects to popular lore and myth spanning across centuries. The real standout here is the characterization of the film. It's not a single person, but the living and breathing human manifestations of terrifying, power-hungry, grotesque minds. Far more scary than any supernatural creature. Simply because of the horrifying darkness that these minds have been capable of since centuries. The sheer impact of this film's brilliance can't be attributed to one person alone. Writer-director Dominic Arun carves the story with remarkable control, while co-writer and dramaturgist Santhy Balachandran crafts a screenplay layered enough to feel both intimate and epic at the same time. Hats off to producer Dulquer Salman, who ensures every resource is optimally used, giving the team room to execute their vision on a minimal budget. Cinematographer Nimish Ravi's visual texture looks jaw-dropping, making the world of Lokah come alive on the big screen. Special shout out to Jakes Bejoy's terrific background score that elevates every moment to the best version of the intended impact. The performances across the board elevate the film. Kalyani Priyadarshan, in fact, is an absolute revelation in this film. Chandra is mysterious, confident, and captivating, and Kalyani carries all of these qualities with ease. Her action scenes flawless, her more quiet moments electric, and by the time her backstory unfolds, you realize just how much heart is poured into the superhuman presence as well as her own emotionally intelligent performance. Naslen as Sunny is fantastic too, yet another star-making turn for the upcoming actor, offering humor and relatability, with his friends Venu and Nigel beautifully rounding out the trio. However, it's Sandy as Inspector Nachiappa Gowda who dominates every scene he's in, leaving a spine-chilling impact on the audiences long after each of his scenes are done. One of the things I absolutely loved is how the film moves between myth and lore spanning across centuries and modern-day Bangalore. The two timelines are stitched together at perfect moments. Neither confusing nor spoon-feeding, so you just feel the story unfolding. The interval, in fact, hits you hard, with Chandra's backstory unfolding across different timelines being juxtaposed onto a present-day action sequence, helping us as an audience dive into the world of Chandra and, by an extension, the entire universe of Lokah. This particular interval sequence is actually very well written. You start to unfold her past step by step, becoming a part of her journey, and you already know what's happening in present timeline. So the more you get to know about her past, you're starting to realize how the present is going to unfold. The makers don't take your intelligence for granted, and this scene is a big proof of that. Director Dominic Arun and editor Chaman Chako ensure every sequence is tight, with pacing that keeps the story flowing effortlessly, neither rushed nor bloated. Action sequences come exactly when it's needed, like the climax, the cameos in the second half, and both the mid credits and the end credit sequences. Yes, you get both, so please stay through the credits. This is not to say it's a perfect film. If you're expecting non-stop elevation after elevation, you might be slightly disappointed. Lokah is driven by plot and story as much as action sequences. Not every moment is designed for a visual spectacle, which might seem a little slow from a screenplay perspective to some people. But for me, that's precisely what worked. It kept the emotion and the tension intact, letting the story breathe while still delivering jaw-dropping moments. It's all about getting your expectations right for what this film truly is. Also, the subtle misogynistic traits in the characterization of the villain, especially related to how he thinks, might be too subtle for some viewers. If you miss out this one aspect of the characterization of the villain, then unfortunately, the villain becomes an underwhelming generic villain. Because honestly, those traits, the thought process, is what makes him a terrifying villain. You understand how he views the world and why, despite being human, he poses such a threat to Chandra. Overall, Lokah Part 1 Chandra is a stunning, resounding triumph on all fronts. It's thrilling, emotionally grounded, and visually breathtaking all at once, leaving a legacy that stands on its own, raising the bar not just for the future installments of this franchise, but the entire landscape of fantasy in Indian cinema itself. For a genre that's marred by style over substance, a film finally gets both these elements right. A perfect marriage of impeccable style and unwavering substance. Team Lokah, take a bow.
तुम जानते हो जिसे तुम लोग मिथ और इतिहास समझते हो वो वास्तव में होते हैं.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. The handles are USKMM6. The links are in the description below as well. Like and share this video. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do it right away. See you soon.